RMJ Movie Reviews back again with another happy Halloween horror movie review of an obscure film, mostly forgotten, Hollow Man, starring Mr. Kevin Bacon and Adventures in Babysitting herself, Elizabeth Shue. Ooh, man, directed by Paul Verhoven, RoboCop 1 and Total Recall and Basic Instinct. Man, Hollow Man. Okay, this movie came out the summer after I graduated high school. I believe this was August of 2000. I saw this film theatrically. Of course, there hadn't been that many Invisible Man movies when I was a kid. I can only remember right offhand, I think Steve Guttenberg from Police Academy 1 through 4. I believe he did an Invisible Man movie that I remember, and there was a couple of other Invisible Man movies that I remember. There was I think it's a Troma movie called The Invisible Maniac. I remember seeing that on Cinemax when I was a kid, which consisted of a lot of the same ideas that you see here in Hollow Man. Only difference is this is a big budget Hollywood movie with a lot of A-list character actors, A-list director, A-list musical composer. And when I saw Hollow Man that summer, that was actually a rough summer because, digressing, me and my high school sweetheart were coming to an end and I could feel it. And I do remember this was the movie that I had actually saw by myself during the time that our relationship was crumbling. That was why I remember Hollow Man so fondly, because I kind of sat in the theater by myself like, oh my God, my girlfriend doesn't want me anymore. 18-year-old. But when I saw the film, I always mostly liked it. It had cool previews with the Invisible Man stuff, the CGI stuff. And again, this was kind of the height of CGI. This wasn't where it is now, where it just went totally berserk. It was still, you were still seeing it sparingly in movies, not every other damn weekend and every other sci-fi. It wasn't everywhere like it is now. And also, you didn't have YouTube and Final Cut and all that kind of stuff back in 2000. Anyway, I always thought it was okay. I mostly always thought it was all right. I saw it again on video in 2001, and it kind of, seeing it on video, I kind of liked it less than I did when I saw it. But then I hadn't seen the movie for quite a few years. And I bought it from the game exchange place, and actually for $3.99, like you guys saw. And I rewatched it again, and looking at it for what it is, basically this is a big budget B movie, and that's all it is. It's very enjoyable, and I actually taken a break from it for a couple years, and actually watching it. I actually enjoy the movie much more now than I did when I saw it back in summer of 2000. And basically, Hollow Man just tells the story of Kevin Bacon is a doctor, and Elizabeth Shue. They're all part of this covert team that works for the Pentagon. They're experimenting with animals to see if this invisible serum works. It works. They brought an animal back, but they want to take it a little step further, see if they can do it with human beings. The Pentagon doesn't give them approval because Kevin Bacon is this egotistical maniac, so they decide to do their own little experimentation. Kevin Bacon is so much of an egomaniac, he says, I'm the man for the job. He uses it on himself, and of course, things just don't go as planned. And you see what the effects of invisibility can do to somebody. That's Hollow Man, plain and simple, period. The one thing about this film is the things that I disliked about it back then, I like about it now. Namely, I was disappointed in the fact that the concept wasn't taken a little bit further. I mean, pretty much what it comes down to is Kevin Bacon starts to lose his mind because he can't come back from being invisible. And basically, he just becomes a big old pervert. And he moves from just your mild-mannered invisible pervert to full-on psychopath. And that's pretty much all it is. That's all the movie is. It's misogyny and violence. That's all Hollow Man is. And it's wrapped up in a lot of great talent and a lot of money. But at the end of the day, this is a gigantic B movie that you would have seen on Cinemax or HBO or Showtime or the Movie Channel back in the late 80s or the early 90s, starring Lorenzo Lamas or Shannon Tweed or Andrew Stevens. Plain and simple, that's what this movie is. Um, but and that was the thing I was always disappointed about the film. I always wished that it could have been more than just, Kevin Bacon, groping some women, standing in on the bathroom as they're peeing, and then, ultimately sexually assaulting his very hot neighbor. I can't remember the actress's name, who was in Underworld 3. And then ultimately his colleagues want to turn him in because he's lost his mind, and then he just goes Michael Myers, Jason Voorhees, and kills them all. And I just always was disappointed that the movie wasn't just more than just sex and violence. Now that I've watched it now, it's a fun, just trashy B movie to watch. Paul Verhoeven really likes to see women's chest area get fondled. He really enjoys seeing articles of clothing being pulled off them. And evidently he likes women being stalked and terrorized by an invisible maniac, which is really what this movie seems to linger on the most. And he really likes blood. And I will say, one thing I've always liked about Paul Verhoeven is I love the way he shoots movies. I think visually and aesthetically, just in terms of lighting and the way he shoots scenes, he shoots. I just love the way Paul Verhoeven shoots and the warm colors he uses. I love the way he shoots violence and action scenes. Nobody can shoot blood like Paul Verhoeven. It just, the way he shoots people gushing with blood, like the way you see it in RoboCop and Total Recall, Basic Instinct in this movie, there is nobody else that can shoot. Digressing, as much as people hate Showgirls, that is a beautiful movie visually, just with the colors. Especially when they're in Las Vegas, I love the way that movie looks visually. And Basic Instinct too. Just the visuals in San Francisco are fantastic in that movie. And the same applies here. And of course, he brings back Jerry Goldsmith. Jerry Goldsmith, I miss the classic composers of the movies that I grew up watching, because when you listen to Jerry Goldsmith's score for this film, Total Recall, of course, Alien, Basic Instinct, of course, how could we forget Poltergeist 1 and 2? I mean, fantastic music. And even though this is like a shoddy B movie, big budget B movie, the score for this, he puts so much energy, and there's a really creepy undertone to the scenes where Kevin Bacon is slowly starting to lose it. And those are the scenes that I find most interesting. The scenes that are the least interesting in Hollow Man is just the rapey pervert stuff and the violent stuff. Although, in a sick voyeuristic way, it's fun to watch, But the most interesting things are the things where Kevin Bacon is slowly kind of losing it. Like, you kind of see that he's losing his mind because, number one, he can't come back to the world of the visual, but he's intoxicated with this power of, as indicated by the scene where he slaps the fly, or when he, scares the children in the car. I really love that scene. Another cool scene where after he gropes his colleague, and that's more of a power play more than it is of a titillating thing for himself. It's really, this chick is constantly going against him, and now he's got the total upper hand on her. Not only he was right about turning invisible and he didn't die, so he one-ups her there. This guy's such an egomaniac, but also now he has the position of he can do whatever he wants to her because she can't do anything about it because she can't see him. And he's getting a kick out of it. And I love the scene as indicated where she's kind of putting the little lead stickers on him, and she stops for a minute and she goes, "Are you staring at me?" And he goes, "No." Why? And it's really creepy. It should have been more stuff like that. And the movie has a lot of that, but I wish they would have added more onto that versus the rapey stuff. But I really liked that. That was a really cool moment. And then kind of the scenes where Kevin Bacon is arguing with the beautiful Elizabeth Shue and Josh Brolin, and these other colleagues. And you can see this dude is ratcheting it up. He's really losing it. But like I said, the movie goes the easy route, and it just turns, rape pervert stuff, which, like I said, for a B movie, it's fine, but with the talent involved in this movie, I think it should have been more than that. But, 17 years down the line, almost 20 years down the line, it's fun to watch. The special effects are fantastic. The visuals with Kevin Bacon being invisible, namely where he jumps into the pool, that's a cool one. One of my, and the other one is, I love the visuals that they use to show him his outline. I think it's the one where him and Elizabeth Shue are fighting in the rain, or not the rain, but the water is coming down because the fire is lit in the tunnel. Really good scene where he slaps her in the face, and the stunt woman takes, bam, when she does that hit. I love that scene. Probably my favorite visual gag with him being invisible, I'd probably say, is the one where the girl is throwing the blood in there and the blood splashes on him and they get in a struggle. It's something really creepy about the way the blood is and his hair is hanging, and you could just, he ends up breaking the girl's neck, but that's a really creepy moment. And also when they create that plastic mask for him, it's just, he looks really creepy like that. Digressing, he kind of looks like people I've seen in the medical field. When he's got the glasses on and that fake Michael Myers, it reminds me of a lot of things I've seen in real life. It kind of looks, so it creeped me out a little bit. But going back to the movie, that's creepy stuff. And the action sequences are fun. And Jerry Goldsmith's score, particularly in that third act, that again takes the easy slash everybody and kill him route, but still fun to watch visually. I think I love when Josh Brolin is spraying the fire extinguisher and Jerry Goldsmith's score. Oh, it's just so good. It's really good stuff. But that's just the issue, is that the movie takes the easy route. But again, watching for this time of year, it fun visuals, fun gore. It's got the gratuitous, misogynistic, pervy sex stuff. For a B movie, that's for a grindhouse. That's fun. Aside from the issue of it taking the easy route and the pervy route, I think it's the fact that this movie doesn't really have any likable characters. Elizabeth Shue is likable because it's Elizabeth Shue. I mean, it's Adventures in Babysitting. She's just beautiful and she's great. The other guy, I will say, I think the other guy's likable. There's the other guy, hefty guy who's in the lab. He's pretty likable. The one sister, I like her. She's likable. And the other guy's okay. Josh Brolin is kind of, although he's Brad from the Goonies, I don't know, man. His character just didn't really do anything for me. He's not unlikable, but he's not likable either. And Kevin Bacon, the great actor that he is, his character is written as such a sleazeball before he turns into a psychopath that it's kind of, you can kind of already see those traits in him that is where he would probably go anyway. But I guess it's the whole idea of like narcissism, I can't say it, narcissistic, narcissism, whatever the word is. You can see how it could just elevate to, just a psychopath, So I think if Kevin Bacon's character would have been written a little bit, I don't want to use the word nicer, but if he would have been written as more sympathetic and a little bit more grounded and not such a narcissistic pig beforehand, I think the turn would have been a little bit more startling. But as it's written, you can kind of see the traits that he would go there probably anyway without turning invisible. Because Kevin Bacon can really play that sleazeball. He kind of just is extending his character from Sleepers into this movie. But again, it's Kevin Bacon, Footloose, he's a great actor. Kevin Bacon's great. So look, Hollow Man is sleazy, misogynistic, gory, fun, which is what you want for this time of year. So for anybody who is in the mood for an invisible man just being a violent pervert, check out Hollow Man. Thumbs up the video, subscribe to the channel, share the video. Don't forget to hit the little bell. And those of you who are old enough to have seen Hollow Man when it was released, or watching it now, or coming back to it, whatever, you all can leave comments about what you think of Hollow Man. It's a fun sleaze show, but again, as a film, it's in the middle for me. I can see why it didn't, because this didn't last at the box office very long. But leave comments down below. RMJ Movie Reviews. I will see you all soon.